Shiny viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. In this episode, we are going to discuss how an ENTJ copes with breakups. Of course, every individual that an ENTJ has a loving relationship with is different. Hence, every breakup is going to be different. Sometimes it may not even be a breakup. We didn't even get together, but the ENTJ is very deeply in love with you. So getting over this is actually going to be very hard if you said no, or if you ghosted the ENTJ. So since every breakup is different, today we're going to look at only the severe heartbreaking cases for the ENTJ. These severe heartbreaking cases tend to be ones whereby there is no closure. So when the ENTJ still loves you deeply and then you just decided that you want to end it all, you did not provide a reason. This is very difficult for the ENTJ to get over because the ENTJ needs logic and needs to know why. The impact of a breakup is also likely to be more severe for the ENTJ if the relationship is in the beginning phase. So towards the end of the relationship, maybe the ENTJ already knows that there is no future in this relationship, so there is lesser and lesser communication. So by which time there is a breakup eventually, it is easier for the ENTJ to chew and to move on. Of course, in my personal history, I have actually encountered a few very difficult breakups. Even though the ENTJ has inferior FI, going through a breakup, especially when the ENTJ is still very much in love with you, is very tough. Of course, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road, and when the ENTJ thinks about the relationship, it's like, okay, nothing. But during the time of the breakup, when the wound is still very raw, it is very tough and difficult. So how does the ENTJ cope? The ENTJ generally uses 3 major strategies. The first strategy is very simple to understand because the ENTJ is TE dominant. The ENTJ really relies on TE, extroverted thinking, to supply logic. So therefore the strategy, rationalization, is one of the first few strategies that the ENTJ must engage. So rationalization can be very complex at times. We are trying to provide a reason so that we can call it a day. So one type of rationalization that is very straightforward is we think of reasons why you don't deserve our love. We think of reasons why we are at fault and you have to leave. We think of reasons why this relationship will not work out in the end anyway. So when we engage rationalization, we are trying to give ourselves a reason for us to really give you up eventually. Because we are struggling, because we still love you, we want to have you still, but you have left, so we have to cut the strings. So rationalization helps us to do that. But as mentioned, rationalization is not that straightforward. We could rationalize in a lot of ways. Sometimes I may rationalize by looking at my own personal flaws and how I made the entire situation turn bad. Sometimes it is easier to go on a self-blame mode. At other times it is easier to blame you. But rationalization truly may not only involve the two of us, it could involve other people. So I could look at a person that has never gotten into a relationship before. There are a few people that I know that are like that. So I think, okay, you see, there are people who have in their entire life never had a boyfriend or never had a girlfriend. So I have had a few relationships in my life. I am considered lucky. So I must count my blessings. So this is one of the ways I rationalize.
I go absolutely batty counting bats.
So besides listing your potential flaws and my potential flaws, I could also think over why our relationship will not work in the end eventually. So I will engage this rationalization quite often. If you ghosted me, then I would think of reasons why you had to do so. A lot of rationalization is needed because I need to provide a reason for me to let go. Sometimes this letting go can take a very long time. So in my personal experience, it may take up to years. Yes, you might be very surprised for an ENTJ to let go of a particular individual, it could take years. The second strategy that an ENTJ might use is distraction. This is very simple to understand. We just overwhelm ourselves with work. In fact, I think ENTJs can be so focused when doing work, they can momentarily forget their pain. So I could be serving a client, I could be doing a test, they all don't matter. During the time when I know I'm supposed to work, I work. However, once the work is done, all the pain will come to me twofold, threefold, fourfold. It's quite hard to bear. So as an ENTJ, I do use distraction quite often. So besides work, personally, I also find gambling a very good distractor, because once I'm involved in gambling, I totally forget about everything else. But I must say, it is really a short-term solution. The third thing, I wouldn't even say is a strategy that I do if I am trying to survive a breakup, is seclusion. So I could go out with my friends, I could go out with my family, but I am never happy. I don't want to fake a smile because I am actually sad within. So I would rather not attend any social gatherings. So the seclusion itself is not really a strategy because the seclusion is something that I do. But I find that seclusion does help me because seclusion allows me to have time to think over, to mull over the situation. Seclusion allows me to rationalize. So I engage in seclusion a lot. The ENTJ, when upset, can really become very introverted. Very few things can really upset an ENTJ. Breakup is indeed one of them. So fellow ENTJs, although we are all FI inferior, we do have love, right? So it is definitely understandable that we can go through very serious heartbreaks when we are abandoned or when things do not work out between you and your lover. So how do you cope as an ENTJ? Do share with me in the comment section. So at Channel NITT, we produce a lot of ENTJ episodes. It sometimes feels as if I am totally disclosing my entire life. But that's okay because I understand that many ENTJs will want to have a verification with other ENTJs whether this is an ENTJ thing. Also, there might be other people who are interested in an ENTJ and want to know the ENTJ better. So at Channel NITT, we are committed to help individuals get to know themselves better and get to know ENTJs better. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ, MBTI, psychology and fun stuff. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye!